Hi, this is Judith Shaw. Welcome back to Black Cocoa Brown. And today I'm excited to share my first guest for 2022. I hope everyone had a wonderful new year and happy Black History Month. Let us all learn what we can and just enjoy it. So with me today is Miss Yashika Turner. Welcome to Black Cocoa Brown. Let me give you a little bit of introduction about Yashika. Yashika is the CEO and founder of Holistify Life. She's a certified life coach and author and has a wealth of 18 years experience in the healthcare field as a registered nurse specializing in mental health and psychiatry. Wow, 18 years, my God, girl. She, as an empowerment life strategist. Yes, that's the word, strategist. Yashika is inspired by her passion to work with women who are feeling unfulfilled in their lives. Right. Her mission is to inspire women to level up and activate fulfillment and happiness by creating their own success story. Don't we all want that, right? Right. Yashika does this through her lifestyle brand, Holistify Life, where she offers personal, mental, and financial development programs through apparels, courses, workshop, and coaching programs for women with the vision to create a tribe. I love that word, a tribe of women who are living a holistically happier, healthier, abundant life in faith. Big up, Yashika. Welcome to Black Cocoa Brown. So Yashika, what I really want to focus on a little bit more today is mental health, right? 18 years experience, but no, so you have a lot to share with us, you know? Yes. And I approach you because I started Black Cocoa Brown and the end of 2021, I was feeling really anxious going into 2022. Right. And I felt stuck. I felt like things ain't going well. And I started feeling some great amount of anxiety. And I said, oh my goodness, I need to pull myself out of this. I need to get back into a better mindset where I can just push forward with my business. Right. And I lying in bed one day and it's like, God said, you know what? We're introduced to Yashika, reach out to her and let's talk about mental health because we all get affected by this thing. So my first question to you is, what is mental health?
So first of all, thank you so much for having me as your first host for 2022. I feel honored to be here on Black Cocoa Brown, representing Black History Month, and we're starting it off with our mental health. So mental health is a state of well-being. It's the way we think, the way we feel, we act, and our response to our everyday life stressors. So we all have mental health, just like our physical health. You'll say, oh yes, you can hear, you can see, you can taste, you can feel. With mental health, you can think, you can react, you have different emotions flowing, you can be happy, sad, angry. So it's just the way you react. That's for mental health, the mind part of it, for body.
Wow, thank you. And my other question is, what does good mental health looks like?
Good mental health looks like you are able to pick yourself up. So whenever you're feeling down, you can pick yourself up. You don't stay down for a long period of time. You
Mm.
have that positive vibes, that positive expectation for life. You have relationship bonding, lasting relationship with others. You look on the brighter side of life. If you're experiencing like stressors or down moment, you are able to pull yourself back up. So it's that positive feeling, that feeling like, yes, you can cope with your stressors. You'll have days, yes, when you will feel
Mhm.
down, but good mental health is picking yourself back up. Good mental health is also the way you think. So you are the one who control your mental health. So because of different life experiences, different stressors, different situations, there are several different factors that can affect your mental health. Changes your mood, with stress, with work, with family. Different things changes us, changing your mental health. It's a dynamic state of well-being. So it changes. So it's that positive side of knowing that, yes, I can get back up. I feel positive. I have relationship with other people. I cope with stress. So different people have different levels of stress. So it's important to find what are your stressors and how do you cope with your stressors, right? It's enjoying life, being happy, feeling fulfilled, waking up, feeling, yes, alive, showing gratitude for life. So it's all of those factors. Those are the signs that you're mentally healthy.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you wake up and the sun not shining, and it's a
Yeah,
rain, and you know, say in a few minutes the sun starts shining.
that's
Right?
right.
Okay, I
Right.
got you.
Right.
Okay, so how does mental health relate to mental illness?
So a lot of times these two are used interchangeably, but they're two different terms. So
Oh.
mental health, as I said, is the way we think, we feel, we react to different life stressors. Mental illnesses, on the other hand, there are components of different factors that alter the way you think, the way you feel, and how you react. So these are different components. So these are a set of illnesses. Sometimes we call them psychotic disorders, mental illnesses. So there are different terminologies, but these are the problems associated with our mental health. These are the things that prevent us from having a good mental health. So they come as like blockers. So say we have a person is diagnosed with diabetes. So that's a physical health condition. And on the other hand, mental illnesses, those are the factors that affect your mental health.
Health. Okay, I got you.
Right. So there's anxiety, depression, several different others. So they affect our thoughts, the way we think, the way you feel, and the way you react.
Okay. You know what, Yashika, when I was 24 years old, after the birth of my first child,
Right.
I can recall feeling a sense of sadness. I would get up every day and I would just cry.
Right.
I know what triggered it off. I was going through some personal stuff, but
Right.
it was a very difficult time. It was harder than anything else I've ever experienced in my life. And I felt like a sense of hopelessness, worthlessness, and I a loss. I did not want to live, in other words, to the point where I got hospitalized. And everyone thought I was fine. I look
Right.
good. I carry myself with this positive outlook and this joy, but inside I was suffering. I was suffering silently, right? So on that point, how does someone recognize mental illness? I know you touch on the base of what is mental illness, and it's
Right.
that feeling of feeling really low and you can't really pick yourself up, but you walk around every day still thinking, everybody thinking that everything is
You're
fine.
okay.
Yeah, but how can you truly recognize that it is a mental illness and it's just not one of those sad moments that you can just get up and go again?
Mhm. So as you mentioned, there are several different factors that you are signs and symptoms that you're experiencing at the time.
Mhm.
So it's that feeling of sadness, ongoing sadness. Usually the duration of that sadness has a lot to do with it
The
too. You can be
duration.
sad.
Right.
Yeah, you can be sad, but if it's prolonging for more than 2 weeks, it's not getting better, it's getting worse,
Mm.
then that's one of the signs. That's a sign of depression. Feeling sad, there's changes in your mood, changes in your sleep, changes in your appetite. Either you're eating too much or too little,
Mhm.
sleeping too much or too little. Your thoughts also, your thoughts are affected because you're not able to pick yourself, to give yourself that boost to get up out of that feeling.
Yeah.
So that feeling of guilt, that feeling of hopelessness, that feeling of you're not belonging here
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah.
There's your self-worth is gone,
Mhm.
hopelessness, and also lacking of interest. So things you usually enjoy doing, you have no interest in those things anymore. You
Right.
start neglecting your personal hygiene.
Mm. I got you.
You start having different thoughts. Like some people, like some mental illnesses, like say schizophrenia, there's auditory hallucination. So you start hearing things. They start to disturb your thoughts, or it can be paranoia. You think people are against you. You hear things on the radio, you think they're talking about you.
Mm. Yeah. And that's one of the things I was going to
So,
ask you about. What are the different types of mental illnesses?
so there are different types of mental illnesses, just like we're physical illnesses, physical conditions, mental illnesses, they're grouped in different categories. So they're mood disturbances.
Yeah.
So like for depression or bipolar, there is anxiety disorders, there's personality disorders, there's borderline, that's a very popular one. Borderline personality disorder. There is psychotic disorders, which involves our schizophrenia, schizophrenic patients, and there's also eating disorders. So there's a wide range of categories of mental illnesses, which ranges from mild to more severe.
Okay. So what about postpartum depression? Is that a part of mental?
Yes, because that's a category of depression. There's different types of depression.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're
Let me
welcome.
see my other question here. What are the risks associating with mental illness?
The risk factors, the contributing factors that
Yeah.
leads to mental illnesses.
Yeah.
So stressors, as in your situations, you did mention that you had several things going on at that time. So
Right.
there's environmental factors. Maybe it could be relationship, maybe it's job, maybe it's a loss of a loved one, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's moving,
Mm.
migrating is a big one. So there's different environmental factors. There's also genetic. So for instance, psychotic disorders, there are usually genetic. So
Okay.
you inherited this condition from, say, your parents. So it's just like in a physical disorder, diabetes, hypertension, we inherit them from our parents or grandparents. So it's just as similar as mental illnesses.
Okay. So genetic
Substances,
factors.
yeah, genetic factors, environmental factors, substances, alcohol, trauma,
Mhm.
stress. Stress is a
Okay.
huge one, a huge one.
Mm.
Stressors. Mhm,
Stressors. I know.
mhm,
I know
mhm.
exactly what that feels like, believe me. Well, thank God. I mean, that was over what? If I tell you how long ago that was, you don't know my age. So I'm not gonna really say how long that was. But I'm grateful that I was able, I got the help that I needed.
Mhm,
And although some people to call me mad,
mhm,
I
mhm,
wanted to discuss that.
mhm,
Whereas, the stigma
mhm,
that is attached to mental illness.
mhm, mhm,
Did I continue? Yeah, so stigma that's attached to mental illness, especially within the Black community. I know that all communities, because me and my mother was having this discussion even the other day, and I was saying to her, you know, in the Black communities, we tend to love to call people who have mental illness mad, crazy, sicko, and all those names. And she was saying to me, you know, it's not just the Black community, and which is true. But because I only can speak of
For
the
our
community
culture.
that I come from, right? You know, you see someone coming from Jamaica. You know, I remember seeing people on the street and you say, oh, the madman, look on him, right?
That's
So
so true.
how should anyone deal with it? Deal with the stigma attached with mental illness, and how we as a community can change the narrative, because it not serving any purpose. It's really breaking things down. People not getting the proper help. But how can we deal with this?
So the stigma, sorry, it's attached to this stigma as mental. So once the word mental health pops up, the first thing people have to say, oh, you're crazy, you're mad. They get defensive. If you're even doing an assessment, you're asking somebody, how's your mental health? Even for us, like for me, I'll say, how's your mental health? The first thing, oh, mental health, after me not mad.
Yes,
You know?
yes, yeah.
But it's just asking you, how are you feeling? Just as I would say, how's your physical health? Do you have any pain here? Can you see properly? Can you hear properly? So it's just, how are you feeling? So, and then that stigma is attached to the word mental health.
Yes.
When you reach mental illness yet,
yes, can you imagine?
But the word mental, that's where the stigma is attached to the word mental. So it has a lot of, what can really help is educating. Educating for us to know the difference, number one, mental health versus mental illnesses, and also looking at it as a disorder that, yes, it's a disorder, you can live with it, and it is treatable. People live with diabetes and hypertension every day, right? So, like for psychotic disorders, it's a chemical imbalance. So it's something that you have to live with. For some types of mental illnesses, it's a lifetime thing. So you have to continuously take those medications to replace those chemicals.
Yes.
So it's educating, getting the word out there, and to try, when we hear people say those things, we educate them. Don't put them down. Don't call them crazy. The stigma, those words are that attached to mental health. Crazy, you're mad, you're a madman. And then the other stigma is violence. Because once you're mental health crazy, they attach violence to it. Like for us in Jamaica, when we see a madman, as you call them, we're so scared of them,
we run. Yes, yes, it is true.
Yeah, and little do we know, they are the one who get more, that people become more violent and aggressive towards.
Yeah, yeah.
They are the victims a lot of times.
Yeah, and I wonder now, because you know, sitting here listening to you talking about back home, and you know, when you see them, you're running from them, and I remember seeing a lot of them, you know, their hygiene is very low. And I guess because too, people are not willing to care for them in the way that will be so helpful to or beneficial to them. So if no one is providing that care and need, you know, or show them any empathy, you know, then of course it's going to be, I'm assuming that's why they carry themselves the way they do. And to be honest with you, you know, when I was thinking about doing this segment, I thought about, if I share my story, my nervous breakdown or depression state, you know, is everyone going to consider me a crazy person? So it was, even though I know that it's not the politically correct term to use,
right,
I was thinking that of it, you know, like, how are people going to judge me? Should I even share this story? You know, so I could just imagine when someone is going through what they're going through, you know, it is very difficult. It's very, very hard and challenging for people with this stigma. This stigma, if only we can just get rid of it, you know, only we can get rid of it.
And even persons who are diagnosed also with mental illnesses, because of that stigma, they refuse to get help. They refuse to get treatment because they don't want to see themselves maybe coming to a psych hospital or reaching out to say they need help. So them too, they put themselves in this box to say, okay, I don't want anybody to know that I'm not feeling well. I don't want anybody to know that I have this whole high pile of stressors in my life. I'm just going to keep myself. And that's another thing for us Black people too. We tend to not talk about things. We keep everything private, cover it up. Don't talk about it. Keep your business to yourself. Right?
Yes.
And that's preventing you from getting help.
Help, exactly. Yeah.
And support. Support is one of the biggest factors in mental health and mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that support, then you just go down.
And then you find a lot of young people are getting or take suicidal, such as what's her name? Regina King's son recently committed suicide. And that young was she Miss America? 30-year-old that recently commit suicide. And it's all about that aspect of not being able to express yourself or speak about what you're feeling, right? And all the troubles that you're experiencing within, you know? Yeah. And
because
that thing, and the thing about it too with Black, our community say, we don't need counseling. We don't need, we are strong people. We're strong. You know, it's that thing to thinking that we can't break. No, although them say we don't crack, but we can break.
We can.
Because we can break
everybody have a mental health.
Yes.
We all have our mental health.
And mental health can become ill.
It can be, So it has mental illnesses, has no respect for age, gender, culture, race, profession, nobody.
Exactly. Thank you.
Nobody.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah. So, what are some of the available community resources for those affected with mental illnesses and for the families caring for them?
Support is one of the biggest factors in persons who are diagnosed with mental illnesses and family members who have to take care of those persons that are diagnosed. So for the number one thing I would say, so if you suspect that you're having any of these signs of mental illnesses or your mental health is you're not feeling the greatest, feeling like you're going downhill rather than uphill, you're struggling with life stressors up and down, I would suggest you will speak with your family doctor first, number one, to get an assessment done.
Okay.
Because the earlier you're diagnosed, the better it is. It prevents hospitalization. It prevents suicide because depression is one of the mental illnesses that can lead to suicide. Suicide, yeah. So it's better to nip it at the bud, as your granny would say, in Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So you seek help. So you contact your family doctor, number one. If it's really severe, if it's an emergency, you call 911.
Okay.
Contact 911. Here in Hamilton, I'm in Hamilton, Ontario. So we have our hotline, our COAST hotline, that's for mental health services. And each province, each city, I'm assuming have different mental health services.
Okay.
But for here in Hamilton, it's a COAST helpline you call for support if you're not feeling well. And then, as I said, reach out to your family doctor, give an assessment, and make the necessary referral if needed.
Okay. So find out first how you're feeling and actually acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way. Yes. And then start getting the help as soon as possible. Don't
Yes.
be denying yourself and telling
No.
yourself lies, because when also when me lie to myself,
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, I do a whole bunch of foolishness,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I'm going through anxiety, and I
Mm-hmm.
start lying to myself and just say, no, 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 it's this, that, and that. But when you start acknowledging it and start being truthful to yourself,
Yeah.
saying, you know what, I'm afraid of what is happening, or where things are not going, right?
Wow.
And then you have to
Mm-hmm.
take a step back. I know when I'm feeling anxious,
Mm-hmm.
one of the one of my go-to um chapter in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
who read the Bible or they
Mm-hmm.
find a way of exercising, those are little things. But I like Philippians 4, 6 to 7, who
Mm-hmm.
talks about be anxious over nothing. Even though
Nothing.
sometimes you read the Bible or you read a little um comfort, whatever that brings you that relief. Sometimes you have to read it like 50 billion times. And
Yeah. Yeah.
people
Mm-hmm.
have to,
Mm-hmm.
and people have to say, yes, that's okay. Because I
Mm-hmm.
have to convince myself that it's okay. Everything is
It's
gonna be
okay.
fine. Everything
It's
is gonna be fine. Right.
mm-hmm.
And I just keep reading it, and then I have to exercise, and of course trying to sleep, and of course
Mm-hmm.
eating proper meals, proper food,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and talking to a friend.
Talking, talking. Have,
Yeah.
and then the other thing too, if you're not feeling well, you have a friend or a family, a close person to check in on you. Say, you know what? I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling emotionally well. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling down. Can you just check in on me daily to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm picking myself back up
Yeah.
rather than going down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. And identifying what causes your stressors.
Yes.
Everyone's stress level is different.
Different. Yeah.
When you identify your stress levels, you identify ways of how you can relieve those stressors,
Mm-hmm.
then you can balance, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you have their bucket and the stressors are just keep pouring in, pouring in, pouring in, and there's no way to release, there's tension valve, then
Yeah, go
that's a problem.
overflow.
You're going to
Yeah.
overflow.
Overflow.
Mhm,
I know.
mhm.
I know. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thank you so
Mm.
much, Yakisha. Lashika, my Bible people name is a lot of mercy. I say the Jamaican in me. Because if you meet my grandmother, she never know how to pronounce people damn good. But we'll get it right. Yashika,
Yes.
and I love your name. It's a beautiful name. So I should not dare mess it up. But you know what? That's just me sometimes, girlfriend.
Yes.
But please us, please tell us more about Listify and how may anyone
Mhm.
that require your service can contact you. Let us know a little bit more about Listify. Thank you again
Mhm.
for coming out and talking about mental illness, mental health, because I'm not going to lie to you. I did not think of mental health and then
Mhm.
mental illness. The things of mental health and mental illness are the same thing.
See?
I'm not gonna lie.
See?
I'm not, even though I am a nurse myself, but I'm because I'm more of the physical. I know
Right.
diabetes, hypertension,
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
the liver dialysis, liver issue, kidney problem,
Mhm.
all those little diseases. But
Right.
I
When
am
it
not
comes to
gonna lie to
mental
you. I
mhm,
didn't consider mental health and separate it from mental illness. So
illnesses.
I really and truly appreciate you clarifying that to me. But
Sure.
let us know about Holistify.
So Holistify,
Holistify.
I am the co-founder of Holistify. So Holistify, my husband and I, Team Turner, we have several mother brands under Holistify. So we have Holistify Life, where we provide for life coaching to empower women who are feeling stuck. You're at that level where you're wondering what's next. You need to get out of the ruts, the clarity. So that's where I offer life coaching with apparels. I have also an ebook, What to Expect When Moving to Canada. So that's under your lifestyle to help others. As an immigrant myself, a Jamaican yardie, And the process of migrating and moving to Canada is not pretty.
Yes, yes.
So I did an ebook to help other immigrants who are in the process of migrating, what to expect when moving to Canada. So we have ebooks, journals, apparels, and life coaching. There's also a component to help you to start your side business. I'm a nurse by profession, but I have my side businesses. I love money, financial freedom.
Woohoo.
And so that brings me to our other brand, Holistify Consulting. My husband and I, we're also mortgage agents. So if you need your first time home buying, you need to refinance your home, you need to invest in homes, we have that also. So we have a holistic component of our brand, offering different services under one stop shop.
Wow, you guys busy man, and you have 2 children too. You're busy. Respect. I really appreciate that. Good for you guys.
So the website, holistifylife.com. And you can email me, Team Turner at holistify.com.
Okay, I will definitely leave all that below so people can reach out to you. And you're also on Instagram, so that's how I end up meeting you.
Yes.
So you're on Instagram, and what's your Instagram page?
Yashika Turner.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Yashika.
You are welcome.
I really appreciate you being my first guest.
I know, I feel proud to say.
Yes, I really appreciate it. You really helped me pull me out of my little, what you call it? What you call it?
Zone?
No, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with the business. So you kind of helped pull me out of that little rut. Is that the word?
Clarity. Bring you some clarity.
Yes. So thank you so much for saying yes. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for the education on mental health once again, and letting me know the difference between mental health and mental illness. Thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and girl, again, happy Black History Month. We have to say it. It's a celebration. So we have to say happy, right? It's a celebration, yes. Many things to learn. Yes. And this is definitely one step to learn, right? So thank you very much again.
And you are welcome. All right. Bye-bye.
Well, this is Black Cocoa Brown, and I just want to say thank you all for joining me, and we will see each other again next week. And don't forget to push that button and subscribe. Bye. Thank you for joining Black Cocoa Brown again. And again, this is Judith Shaw. And remember, Black Cocoa Brown is not just a brand. We are a voice. So let's change the narrative one story at a time. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, podcast, and my newsletter. Check out my website. Do have some little stuff here for you guys.